take roll call now.
Not very good.
Here. Mr. Dominic.
Here.
Mrs. Lyon.
Here.
Mr. Caper. Mrs. DeBlock. Mr. Howell.
Here.
Mrs. Cleveland.
We're off to a great start this year.
Wait, I have to.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome back from spring break. Hope you enjoyed your 5 days off. Adoption of the agenda. Is there any questions on the agenda or changes, Dr. Johnson?
Yes, we are going to remove item 6.01, the 25-26 calendar, in order to give the SEA membership more time to determine what their choice will be. And then the Tiger Talent we will present 2 of them next month in order to make sure that we can have everybody here. We don't want to shortchange anyone.
Got it. Let them know we want the calendar next month. I said I wanted it this month and now, so it needs to be done.
Yes.
With that, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
So moved.
For second?
Second.
A motion was made by Mrs. Lyon, seconded by Mr. Dominic to adopt the agenda as amended. Mrs. Lyon?
Yes.
Mr. Dominic?
Yes.
Mrs. Cleveland?
Yes.
Mr. Caper?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Moving on to, so we have no, let's see here, no members of the audience. Good news report, or are we skipping that too?
Oh no, I think Mr. Warrington is full of good news.
Look, he's doing it live, no video.
I apologize for the antiquated way that I presented. Sherrard grade, the open house will be occurring at some point very soon, February 8th. They are still conducting their first assembly in the new gymnasium tomorrow. And there'll be staff and students, a presentation created by the Ned Show regarding character education, so outstanding. Mataville is sending 15 students to the Illinois Music Education Association event at the Peoria Civic Center on January 27th. Junior high had an outstanding math testing season. 7th grade math growth was in the 99th percentile. 8th grade overall 84th percentile. Congratulations to the students and teachers. Also, volleyball and wrestling seasons are underway. The high school, hopefully you had a chance to catch our winter play, Leaving Iowa. It was an outstanding performance, and we had 2 sessions and then one had to be postponed, but congratulations to all those involved. Our musical is next up for our drama department on April 5th, 6th, and 7th, Suzical the Musical. And then lastly, from the high school, we held our first annual Mike Hutchins basketball shootout, named after a former longtime Sherrard employee, athletic director, Mike Hutchins. Our boys actually had an outstanding performance, finishing 2nd, losing only to state-ranked Byron. That's it for good news in this shortened time frame.
Also, thank you to Mr. Mendoza for running the concession stand during the tournament, stepping in last minute. Okay, approval of the consent agenda. Any questions on the consent agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
So moved.
For a second?
Second.
A motion was made by Mr. Helm, seconded by Mr. Dominic to approve the consent agenda items as presented. Mr. Helm?
Yes.
Mr. Dominic?
Yes.
Mrs. Lyon?
Yes.
Mr. Caber?
Yes.
Mrs. Cleveland?
Yes.
Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, over to you, Dr. Johnson.
Good evening, everyone. I have, as we're skipping the first item with the school calendar, I do have something I'll hand out simply because it's a little bit easier to look at it than flipping back and forth between 2 screens on your computer. This is the construction budget summary. We are nearing the end of the construction schedule for all of the major projects that were undertaken with the bonding issue that the district entered into 2 years ago. So we have approximately $350,000 outstanding for the big project at the high school, junior high school. That'll be the retainage and remainder that was due from the greenhouse, the science rooms, etc. Again, about $350,000. Right now for Sherrard Grade School, we have about $242,000 outstanding, okay? And that comes out of, if you'll look at the balance sheet at the front, the capital projects, okay? The capital projects is where the bonding money, or the bond proceeds were deposited, okay? So as of right now, the 10th, when Lindsay signed it, we had just $2.137 million in there. So once we subtract the roughly $242,000 for Sherrard Grade and the roughly $350,000 remaining for the high school, we will be left with a balance of about $1.345 million in the capital projects fund. Now, that of course is an estimate because we bring in anywhere from $50,000 to $60,000 a month through the 1 cent sales tax from the two counties. Okay, so that fund is always building, if you will, on a monthly basis because of the receipts that we get. So we are able to replenish some of that. So I'll talk about it in a little bit, but it's important to remember that after everything is said and done, we will have a minimum of over $1.345 million left over for any projects that we're then looking to do. Now that's not the massive sum that we had when all these big projects were undertaken, but it's still enough of a balance, if you will, to address quite a few of the needs that we can identify throughout the district. And we should have no trouble doing that because we just had our 10-year health, life, safety, so there'll be a fair amount of things that we can identify. Okay. The second sheet that I wanted there that's got the highlighted column in yellow, this is one of the beautiful things about having Hodge manage the construction project is the amount of detail that they're able to provide that then Lindsay and I don't have to chase. This is great, and the two columns to keep an eye on would be letter C. The total cost of the project, $5,670,856. Okay, then columns J and K. We'll have about a $240,000 check going out the door after the meeting tonight, and then we have a balance to finish of just over $200,000. Very informative. You can look through and see what the different items have cost, where they fell, what they were anticipated, and then how much we have left. I would say the only bill that we have left once this is done is the approximately, I believe it was roughly, the estimate was about $30,000 to $35,000 to fix the parking lot where the heavy trucks pretty much destroyed it. That would be between, kind of right on the border of the fire station parking lot and the school parking lot. So, lots of numbers, but if anybody has any questions, please let me know. Alright, good deal. Which brings me to the next item, permission to seek roofing bids. We have one section of roof at the junior high school that is still the old ballasted, aka river rock covered roofing. With the massive project that was done, not this past summer, but the summer before last, so basically my first summer here, was replacement with higher tech membrane, if you will. And we actually ended up with that because the stuff that we initially had spec'd was not available. So it was either wait 6 months or a year or go ahead and upgrade a little bit. So the roof at the high school that was done this summer was a significant upgrade over what the architect had spec'd. So that's good to have done. However, the old ballasted roof that still has the rock on it is a constant source of frustration. Okay, the leaks are impossible to chase in there, and many of you have seen the ubiquitous garbage cans on the junior high gym floor. So luckily, we don't have to worry about that floor warping, but nonetheless, there's a section of hallway and then the gym 3 in the junior high that needs to be replaced. Ballpark figure, about $300,000 is just what Terry Garba, our architect, told me when we were standing in the parking lot. So, but with the board's permission, I would like to get that squared away because it's gonna be about 3-4 more days and the garbage cans are gonna be back when things thaw out. So,
Agreed.
we'll bid that out in the process and the architect will handle drawing up the specs and then we'll just simply release it for bid and then select the lowest bid on the advice of the architect.
These new membrane roofs and this upgrade you're referring to, what's the life expectancy of the new technology and the new roof? Do you know, or?
Supposed to be more, but than a ballasted roof, and more than that, it's, I think the selling point on those, and John could probably help me, is, it's not to put you on the spot, but it's repairable.
Yeah, it's easier to repair because you can find the leaks easier because you don't have to shovel rock.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, like, a lot of times it's 20-year warranties and stuff compared to
That's kind of what
rock
that's where I was
ballasted.
trying to go.
Lot of rock ballasted is 10 years,
Okay.
so.
So there's a better expectation.
Yeah, and there's still different grades and everything like that. You can have extended warranties and that stuff, but yeah, it's pretty normal, 20.
The one that went on the high school is kind of, we literally got the same warranty certificate that you do for Goodyear tires. I mean, that's what it looked like to me, because I'd signed those before, but that, you know, because it was a Goodyear roof.
So,
70,000 miles.
That's what it felt like.
Are we going with black or white? You know what the architect was speccing?
No, I could ask.
Yeah.
Didn't give that much of a thought.
Suggestion?
it's white right now.
The newer parts.
I'm just being
Oh.
facetious. 18 inches of snow.
Yeah, no, I was wondering if black would be better since we're closed throughout the summer and stuff to help. Yeah, compared to, you know, but the architect should be specing that.
Yeah, it's not a, I wouldn't, for example, what we went with the high school was just based on availability.
Right.
So if he just said we wanted white and the only thing available was the black, then we'd have been stuck with that, so, but, yeah, I'll ask him that question for
Just
sure.
curious.
All right, I will keep everybody updated on that. I know Terry and Scott are expecting an email on that because we've already talked about it, so I will get with them tomorrow.
With the rest of that, 1.3 million, you got 300,000 for roof, anything else coming up for CAT projects? Or you just basically have to go through the life safety report to kind of figure that out yet?
It's always wise to look at the life safety and
Yeah.
see what's urgent.
Okay.
One thing I think is urgent now that we have upgraded the climate control at both Matherville and Winola would be to spruce up the overhead lights and go to 2x2 ceiling tiles. It seems like a cosmetic, but I think if we can go to the LED lights, it saves on all kinds of maintenance, it saves on power. And then if we can get to the 2x2 tiles, I think it just such a drastic improvement in look overall. And that's something that really needs to be dealt with at Winola specifically because of the years and years of high humidity levels. Those are starting to sag and they do not look good. And I think it would be just a nice visual upgrade for the whole building to be able to do that. And I know that when we start talking about those things, it makes sense to do the lights at the same time as the new ceiling grids. But that does add to the sticker shock a little bit. So, and Terry, he said he'd give me some ballpark figures of what you can figure for a square foot when you start looking at those things.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of rebates left out there for LEDs.
I think you're right, unfortunately. So,
Okay.
Awesome. Let's see, next up. Additional course proposal for the high school, the attachment on Chad right there. Get my computer to wake up here. A course after my own heart. Obviously, if you visited my office, you know. Any questions on the history of rock and roll? I don't think Mr. Warrington is singing tonight. Nonetheless.
I would have been in the video, but.
And I mean, like I said, you know, this is obviously something I'm extremely interested in. And as a former history teacher, this is kind of one of the ways for social studies to make sure that they stay relevant to kids' lives, is the smaller courses. Yes, you have your state required courses, but kids have a little bit of a menu of things that they can pick from that are a little bit out of the ordinary. I think it certainly helps to sell the social studies area a lot more. So.
Okay, so this would go more towards the social studies. I guess I was looking at it more as a, music
Yeah,
and
that's kind of how I was
elective.
thinking.
Who's teaching?
It's a good
I don't know
crossover.
yet.
Yeah.
Either Daniel or Scott. But we're not sure yet.
I like it.
And actually, our other, Erin Denecker's a fine arts theater person as well too, so I think we've got her qualified folks.
Cool.
Good. All right, and thank you. That is.
We gotta approve it though.
Oh,
With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the new course proposal as presented.
So,
Second.
A motion was made by Mrs. Lyon, seconded by Mr. Dominic, to approve the additional new course proposal. Mrs. Lyon?
yes,
Mr. Dominic?
Yes.
Mr. Helm?
Yes.
Mrs. Cleveland?
yes.
Mr. Kaber?
Yes.
Mr. Fullerland?
Yes.
Motion carried.
I'm so fast. That was it. Holy cow.
Communication correspondence? Okay, nothing there. Future agenda items, anybody? Okay, hearing none, setting a new land speed record, I entertain a motion for us to go to closed session according to 5 ILC 120C subsection C subsection 1 through 16, 1 through 12, 16, 21.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? All in favor?
Aye. Aye, aye, aye.
Thank you, everyone.